Happy Monday, all you wonderful viewers out there for Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. We're back at it, 27th day of July, 2020. I'm Dan Kuntz. Thanks for starting your week with us. July is almost in our rear view mirror. Here comes August. It's going to feel like July. We have a heat advisory. It starts at noon today, goes all the way through till 8 o'clock on Thursday night. So we're in for some it's going to be hot. There, I said it. It's going to be hot. Complete forecast details are coming up. If you can avoid the heat altogether, if you have outdoor plans, do it now. Outside of that, you'll want to be hanging around air conditioning starting about noon today, and you won't want to leave it. We got almost nothing but good news on the Clockham fire. They made some significant progress yesterday. It's now 80% contained. In fact, they're sending some folks home. We'll have a complete update on the Clockham fire when we get to the news in just a couple of minutes. The Mariners actually beat Houston. Go figure. We'll have some highlights of that. Nice little victory there. And everything else you need to know to start your day. A lot of people logged onto our Facebook page over the weekend to look at the live fire coverage that we had on our Sky-Fi tower. Some pretty spectacular stuff. If you get a minute or two, check it out. Go to our Facebook page and take a look at some of this incredible footage. But again, they've made a lot of really good progress. It's mostly good news. Still a few evacuations to worry about, but outside of that, the professionals who do this for a living did a yeoman's job over the weekend. Again, Clockham Fire will be our lead story here. The latest update that was handed down to us about an hour and a half ago will be in your inbox, your television inbox, if you will, in just a couple minutes. All right, 2 minutes after the hour, 64 degrees, kind of cool, kind of pleasant. Not going to be that way for a while. We're talking triple digits next 3-4 days maybe. Let's take you around the valley with our Valley View cameras as the sun begins to get the job done. It came up at 5:34 this morning, just about an hour and a half ago. Sun will set at 8:40 tonight. That's 15 hours and 6 minutes of daylight. We've lost 14 minutes of daylight in the past week. That's what happens this time of the year. Valley nice and quiet, moderately comfortable with our 64 degree reading. Fairly high relative humidity, but we're just going to be baking. And I mean bacon not like what you enjoy with a pork product for breakfast. We're talking about just plain hot. We hit 85 on Saturday, then we turned right around and got to 94 yesterday. And even though we'll be in the lower triple digits today, we're not going to be anywhere near a record high. That was 108 degrees set back in the summer of 1998. That was a hot summer. We're not going to get to 108, but it's going to be plenty warm for most viewers. Good morning to the Wenatchee Valley from our cross camera. For this point, Megan gets to decide. Let's see what we're looking at. And there is the camera that was all abuzz over the weekend. As you can still see some hot spots in the interior of the fire. They'll be working on that today. They'll be working on more containment issues. It's 80% contained now, the Clockham fire, but they still have some hot spots inside the fire. They'll be working on that. Hand crews mostly doing the job. And we'll show you a map here in just a couple of minutes to give you an idea of where that camera is and what direction it's looking. It could be, if you don't really know what you're looking at or what direction your compass is pointing at, it can be a bit confusing. We'll eliminate that problem. When we get to the Clockham News, we have a map that shows you where exactly that camera is and the direction is pointed. That's coming up. So that's the latest there. That's a live shot from the Clockham fire. Camera number 3. Looks like it's Waterville to me. Is that correct, Megan? Well, it's not Waterville we're looking at. It's the Waterville camera that we are using there. One of our more spectacular views. Beautiful Antioch hanging in there, looking good. The mighty Columbia looking good as it weaves its way down to Rocky Reach Dam and then Rock Island Dam and then, the dams, all the way down to the mighty Pacific. The Columbia looks awful inviting and will be later on this afternoon. And camera number 4. A beautiful view of another view. I don't know what camera that is. Is that Rock Island? That's the Quincy camera looking back towards the fire, I believe. Jump off ridge is off in your distance. This is the other camera that we used with our fire coverage over the weekend. So that's a long shoot from Quincy, but it's basically pointing back up the other direction of the camera that you just saw from our jump off ridge camera. This is the Quincy camera looking back, and you can see where the fire burned. And we'll have a map of that fire, as I mentioned before, when we get to the news. But don't see a lot of smoke. It's a far cry from who's kidding who. Friday afternoon and most of Saturday was a pretty nerve-wracking day for everybody, especially those people who live in the Clocken area. But again, it's almost all good news. I can't wait to give you that as we roll through this Monday, the 27th day of July. All right, we have some slides to show to you, and we'll get ready for heat. Wenatchee, by the way, we're in red as you look at that graphic. Moses Lake is in purple. So just about triple digits today, just about triple digits, right around 100, 101 for Wenatchee today and Tuesday. Slightly cooler Wednesday, then we warm right back up on Thursday before we finally cool down on Friday. The upper level ridge is just sitting over the region, and unfortunately it's also bringing a southwesterly flow, and that means not only is it allowing us to bake with the sun high in the sky and the ridge trapping in or preventing any system from coming out, it's also bringing in warm air. That's why we get that nasty combination, and that's why we have the heat advisory in effect from noon today to 8 o'clock on Thursday. That's a long stretch for a heat advisory. Normally it's 24, maybe 36 hours. No, it starts at noon and goes all the way through Thursday. And needless to say, the heat risks, we don't want to gild the lily here, but it's pretty obvious that if you don't need to be outside, don't be outside. The heat is just downright dangerous. You got to drink a lot of water. If you have outdoor plans of any kind, take lots of breaks. Try and avoid the actual heat of the day from about 11 o'clock in the morning till about 4 o'clock in the afternoon before it gradually cools back down again. But use common sense and you'll be okay. I hope all of you have air conditioning of one kind or another, because it's going to be working overtime all this week. It's going to be downright just hot. No other way to put it. All right, so there you go. Now you're graphically informed. Let's take a look at what Patriot Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling is sponsoring. That's the weather forecast. They give your home a hug like you're going to need it. 102, 103, 104. We're kind of hedging our bets a little bit. Certainly triple digits. We're gonna get to about 100 degrees. We're thinking anyway. Could get a little warmer than that. Look at the overnight low tonight. 71 degrees. That's mild. We'll do triple digits again on Tuesday, triple digits Wednesday, triple digits Thursday. Thursday looks to be, for most of the north central Washington area, probably the warmest day of the week. It depends on how cool we get overnight Wednesday going in to Thursday. Certainly temperatures well above normal. And this heat advisory, by the way, is for pretty much everybody, including some pockets of the Puget Sound area. They're going to have high temperatures in the mid-90s today. They're going to be considerably cooler over the next couple of weeks. We're not going to be that lucky because the marine air is going to come in to western Washington is going to be blocked by the high pressure ridge. It's not going to make it into us. So continuing hot, 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 hot. Slightly cooler Friday, much more comfortable just in time for the weekend on Saturday and Sunday. So if you have outdoor plans this weekend as we say goodbye to July, welcome August, it's going to be much more comfortable than it will be today through Thursday. Whew. And once again, I get a little worried about any kind of fire. Now, there's no wind really at all in the forecast. That's the good news as far as fires that make it going again, but it's just going to be so hot. And being a firefighter must be miserable in these kinds of conditions. Hang in there, ladies and gentlemen who fight our fires. Keep up the good work. 9 minutes after the hour, going to take a break. When we come back, we got a lot of news to get to, as you might imagine, on this Monday edition of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life Channel.
I'm Tom from Alpine Air Heating and Cooling. At Alpine Air, we think of ourselves as customer service-oriented retailers. When you make an appointment, please visit our store, meet our people, see our shop. We are serious about heating and air conditioning. Carrier and Alpine Air are offering huge factory rebates and financing options for all your needs. Turn to the experts at Carrier and Alpine Air. Call for your free replacement estimate. Heat and air, call Alpine Air, 662-6846.
10 minutes after the hour on this Monday, the heating up has begun. 69 degrees now outside of our studios. The heat advisory goes into effect at noon today. It lasts all the way until 8 o'clock on Thursday night. We'll be right around that lower triple-digit afternoon high temperatures right through Thursday before we gradually cool down for the weekend. As you might imagine, our top story this morning is the Clockham fire, though some evacuation notices remain in place for several areas. Firefighters have been able to significantly slow the growth of the Clockham fire near Malaga, which broke out on Friday afternoon. This is some of the early stages of the fire. As of this morning, here are your latest numbers. No confirmed structures have been lost. Nobody, to our knowledge, has been injured. The fire is now 80% contained after burning approximately 3,337 acres. That's according to Southeast Washington Interagency Incident Commander Leonard Johnson. Now, at the peak of the fire on Saturday afternoon, more than 250 firefighting personnel were working on suppressing that fire. That number has now been reduced to just 67 firefighters. All of the personnel, by the way, working the fire from the air have been sent home. Kingsbury, Clockham, and jump-off roads remain closed as of this morning. Those three areas also remain at a level 2 evacuations. Tarpiskin Road is at a level 1 evacuation notice. Today's firefighting plan is to improve the already established containment lines around the fire. Crews will be working inside of those lines, by the way, eliminating hot spots and shoring up lines on the west end of the fire to protect structures and timber in that area. The fire broke out at about 2:14 Friday and grew rather rapidly. Remember, it was quite warm and very windy on Friday afternoon. The fire burned in dry grass and brush. At one point, there were over 200 homes threatened by the fire. That is a map of the fire area. To give you an idea what you're looking at, the Clockham Road comes down to the right and splits into Kingsbury Road. Right about where it says DP10 there, that's Clockham Road, and you can see where it splits off. Jump-off road is on the upper left in the Laurel Hill area. In fact, I circled in red. You can see our Sky-Fi camera that captured the videos that you saw over the weekend. That is circled in red, so it gives you an idea of where the camera was and where the fire is. As of this morning, we will have updates as this day progresses, and certainly the latest on the Clockham fire, the news tonight at 5 o'clock. There was other news this morning. The body of a Linwood woman was found along the shore of the Columbia River near Crescent Bar on Friday morning. 43-year-old Krista Gerard. She'd been reported missing by family after she went floating on the river Thursday evening and never returned. The Grant County Sheriff's Office said search efforts continued through the night into the early hours of the morning. She had been staying with family at the Crescent Bar area. The Sheriff's Office said there are no signs of foul play, and the Grant County Coroner Craig Morrison will be conducting an autopsy. The Chelan County Sheriff's Office is asking for your help, the public, for assistance to try to identify a burglary suspect. That's a surveillance photo that was taken at a recent burglary at the Tin Lily restaurant in downtown Wenatchee. It shows the man inside the restaurant. The suspect, as you can see, has a distinct tattoo on his right shoulder. The burglary was reported at about 5:45 in the evening last Wednesday. Anyone with information on the identity of that man is asked to contact the Chelan County Sheriff's Office. A Douglas County man in his 50s became the 11th Wenatchee Valley resident to die from the novel coronavirus, public health officials said on Friday. The patient's passing marked the second local death from COVID-19 reported in the last week. The Chelan Douglas Health District disclosed the death of the 10th patient, a woman from Douglas County, on July 17th. As of Friday, Confluence Health lists 23 patients hospitalized for treatment of COVID-19. 7 of them are under care at the Central Washington Hospital ICU. All but 1 are residents of Chelan, Douglas, Grant, or Okanogan counties. All told, 1,433 people from Chelan and Douglas counties have tested positive for COVID-19 since the virus arrived in Washington at the start of the year. The health district recorded 30 new diagnoses on Thursday and 336 new cases reported in the past week. The state's largest teachers union says it cannot support a return to in-person classes when school begins this fall because of the ongoing COVID-19 crisis. The Washington Education Association put out a statement on Thursday. It says coronavirus puts teachers, students, and communities at risk throughout the state, and schools should plan exclusively for distance learning and virtual classes instead. Now, here in the Wenatchee Valley, school districts have struggled with how to reconcile input from the state, the Centers for Disease Control, and parent and teacher groups. A community-wide online forum about the coming school year was originally scheduled for today with the superintendents of Wenatchee, Eastmont, and Cascade districts. That forum has now been postponed until those districts can finalize their plans. Today, the final shipments of mountain goats will start their journey between the Olympic National Park and the North Cascades National Park. So far, 275 goats have been relocated under the 2-year project, putting them back in their native setting after they were imported into the Olympics back in the 1920s. State and federal wildlife agencies have teamed up to move the goats by truck and helicopter to 12 sites in the North Cascades, 3 of which are in the Okanagan-Wenatchee National Forest. 35 goats have died or have been euthanized in the process. And once this round of relocations is complete, those goats still remaining in the Olympic National Park will be euthanized. A Kennewick man reportedly upset about losing his job at a Quincy business. He was arrested on Thursday morning for firing at least 10 shots from a semi-automatic pistol while walking along the golf course at Crescent Bar. The Grant County Sheriff's Office says 31-year-old Jordan Kintner was booked at the Grant County Jail for aiming and discharging a firearm. A shelter-in-place order was issued to residents in the area while police responded at about 10:45 in the morning to numerous calls about the gunshots on the peninsula end of the golf course. About 45 minutes later, the order was lifted when deputies and Quincy police officers took Kintner into custody without incident. Kyle Foreman, public information officer for the sheriff's office, said witnesses described him as not shooting at people or facilities, and what he was shooting at remains unclear this morning. And finally, a downtown Wenatchee co-working space has won the Award of Excellence from a statewide commerce group. The Washington Main Street Association says the Mercantile at 14 North Wenatchee Avenue is an inspiring remodel of an historic property. Owners Heather and Jeff Austinson and Corey and Rick Ray won the association's Excellence on Main Award in a virtual ceremony on Monday. The award recognizes economic development that goes hand in hand with historic preservation. Congratulations to the Mays and the Austinsons. That's the news at 17 minutes after the hour. It was a busy weekend, and there'll be a busy news day today. We can guarantee you that, but the crew will be back at it, gathering the news, and we'll have a newscast for you tonight at 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and 10 o'clock with a preview of some of the stories we're working on. Here's the anchor, Grant Olson.
Good morning, Dan. Coming up tonight on the NCW Life Evening News, all the latest COVID-19 news and numbers from over the weekend. I'll have your warm, in fact hot, North Central Washington weather forecast, and Eric Grants will be in with a look at all the weekend sports. That, all the day's news and more, coming up tonight at 5, 6, and 10 on the NCW Life Evening News. We hope to see you then. Dan?
Thanks, Grant. We appreciate it. You want to drop us a note and say hi? We give you a lot of different tools in the toolbox. You can email us directly, news@ncwlife.com, news@ncwlife.com. You can also go to our Facebook page, which was quite popular over the weekend. Go to our Facebook page and drop us a line via Facebook Messenger. You can pick up the telephone and give us a call at the number that you see at the bottom of your screen for news tips during regular office hours. Or if you go to our website, ncwlife.com, click on the Contact Us icon, and a little form pops up. You can either submit a news tip or just drop us a note. We love to hear from you. We love our viewers. 19 minutes after the hour, we're going to take a break. When we come back, sports, the obscure holiday. Today in history, some celebrity birthdays, and everybody's entitled to Mike McNally's opinion. You're watching a Monday edition of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life channel.
Hey folks, Carrie from Blueberry Hills in Manson, where we've got huge news. We've started our Blueberry U-Pick. It's a great time to toss the family in the car and get on out to Blueberry Hills, where you can get the best down-home scratch country cooking around and pick some of the world's most delicious and largest blueberries that have been high desert farmed. This makes for an intense blueberry flavor, and they are so much fun to pick. Our fields are open 8 to 2:30 daily and restaurant from 8 to 3, so come on out and join us.
Green Motion e-bikes have rolled into Wenatchee. We've got fun, affordable e-bikes for the whole family. Portable e-bikes that fit right in the trunk of your car. Fat tire mountain bikes plus unique vintage style bikes you won't find anywhere else. Get some exercise with pedal assist or just cruise up to 20 miles per hour with the throttle. Starting under $1,000, Green Motion e-bikes are affordable fun for the whole family. Green Motion e-bikes is located right downtown on the corner of Palouse and Wenatchee Avenue.
20 minutes after the hour, let's talk sports. Break up the Mariners. They finally snapped that long losing streak. They had a 15-game losing streak to the Houston Astros, including having lost 12 in a row at Minute Maid Park, but that came to an end. They came from behind and knocked off the Astros yesterday. The final was 7-6. Tim Lopes, 3 for 4 at the plate. Couple of runs. Shed Long Jr., 2 for 5 with a couple of ribbies. The hero of the day, and so far this season, was rookie Kyle Lewis. The Seattle center fielder came through with the big hit Sunday to power the Mariners to victory.
The order: Lopes, Smith, and Hudson. Up the middle, base hit, Tim Lopes.
This second base hit, he's been on base 3 times. I didn't think he would give in to him. Goes right back to his best pitch, which is his changeup, but misses with it.
For the Mariners in the 8th, down a run. Hit hard, base hit, right field. Here comes Lopes. Here's a throw, not in time. Tied ball game. Shed Long with a game-tying single. And we're knotted up at 5-5. Second RBI today for Shed, his second hit today. Here we go again at 1-2. Taking a pitch upstairs.
Shed with a stolen base.
Go ahead run at second. And base hit right field. Reddick with the big arm. Nola scores right behind him. Shed. Look, he's in there safely.
What a great slide.
Down Altavilla worked an inning of relief for the victory. Manager Scott Service said, hey, it's great to see the youngsters finally come through with the victory.
Awesome job by our ball club. Everybody chipped in this one, but you know, a lot of really good at bats. We got on Greinke early, and then kind of the come from behind hits there off Davinsky. It was great. You know, like I said, quality at bats up and down the lineup. And Kyle Lewis again, big knock in the right field, kind of slowing it down and taking what Davinsky was giving him. Davinsky's tough. You know, he's got the good changeup and the off-speed pitches, but a lot of big hits. Shed had a big hit, obviously, in that inning. Seager swung the bat well again today. Marmolaos will never forget his first hit in the big leagues as he got deked at second base. Good job there offensively in our bullpen today. You know, we're still trying to figure out those roles, but we did a little bit different today, trying to keep the game a little bit close and getting some guys in there. And then, you know, Taylor Williams, first save, never easy, and certainly against the top of that lineup, they really made it difficult for him, but happy for him that he got through it. And have a lot of really happy young players right now. It's a fun clubhouse to be in.
Tim Lopes, after the game, said it was a complete team effort up and down the lineup to get the victory yesterday.
Yeah, the hitters look good today. You know, Kaler's been swinging out of his mind, and Seager's been swinging about well. JP, Shed. I felt like it was a really big team effort today against Greinke. We got to him early, which was nice to see, and you know, hitting can be contagious a lot of the time. So it was definitely a lot of fun.
M's and Astros wrap up their 4-game series this afternoon. First pitch 4:10, Kendall Graveman will take the mound. He'll take on Josh Adams. Going back to opening day on Friday, Marco Gonzalez, he got roughed up. 4 runs, 5 hits. The Seattle dropped at the opener to Houston. The final there was 8-2. Michael Brantley had the hot stick for Houston, went 2 for 3 with a 3-run home run. Kyle Lewis and Kyle Seager accounted for Seattle's only runs with solo dingers. Saturday was a similar story. T1 Walker gave up 5 runs on 7 hits and 3 in the third innings. Astros came on top Saturday. The final there was 7-2 as we open up the Les Schwab scoreboard. It's fun to say that again. Yuri Gurriel and George Springer each homered for the home team. J.P. Crawford led Seattle at the plate. He went 3 for 4 with a run. Kyle Lewis homered for the second straight game. So it's early. It's real early, but let's check the Les Schwab American League West scoreboard and standings. Trevor Story hit a 2-run home run in a 3-run fourth inning. Another solo shot in the 6th. Colorado powers past Texas, 5-2. Oakland scored 5 runs in the first inning, held on to beat the Angels 6-4. Sean Murphy homering for the A's. Mike Trout hit his first home run of the season for Los Angeles. He'll hit more. Houston and Oakland lead the standings, as you see. They're 2-1. Seattle, Los Angeles, and Texas are 1-2. Seahawks pulled off a blockbuster deal on Friday afternoon. One of the NFL's best defensive backs coming to the Emerald City. Seattle acquired All-Pro and Pro Bowl safety Jamal Adams from the Jets in exchange for 2 first-round draft picks, a third-round pick, and safety Bradley McDougald. After the trade, Adams went on Twitter and he said, and I'm quoting now, you have a man on a mission, a man all in on winning a Super Bowl, being the best leader and teammate he can be, and a man who will give everything he has to the city of Seattle and to the 12s across the world. Thank you for believing in me." End quote. Adams was the number 6 overall pick out of LSU back in 2017, started all 46 games he's played in his 3-year career with the Jets in 2019. Adams recorded 75 tackles, 6.5 sacks, 2 forced fumbles, 1 interception. That interception that he got, he returned 61 yards for a touchdown. So we got a new player, and we got a bunch of players who aren't going to be around anymore. They were busy handing out pink slips on Sunday. The Seahawks were. 7 players were waived, and 2 were terminated, including backup center Joey Hunt. Hunt appeared in 34 games for Seattle since being selected in the 6th round of the 2016 draft. He started 11 of those games, including 8 at center in place of Justin Britt last year. Seahawks also terminated defensive end Brandon Jackson. Those waived include running back Patrick Carr, wide receiver Seth Dawkins, guard Cahill McKenzie, defensive back Josh Norwood, guard Jordan Ruse, linebacker Sutton Smith, and tight end Dominic Wood-Anderson. Yesterday's moves, by the way, trims the roster to 81. They are supposed to begin training camp tomorrow in Renton. And finally, our sports schedule for the week looks something like this. It begins Thursday, hockey night, as it always is. The Wenatchee Wild taking on the Salmon Arm Silverbacks at 7 o'clock. Baseball, we got that for you Friday as the Wenatchee Apple Sox host the Bellingham Bells from last year. You can see that at 6:30. Then on Saturday, it begins with Cashmere and Cascade Girls Soccer. That's at 2, followed by North Valley Mechanical Night from back on July 11th at the Wenatchee Valley Super Oval. The racing starts at 6. And those are just some of the games that people are playing on this Monday. Normally when I do the obscure holiday, it's something frivolous or funny or cute or mind-scratching. This is not the case today. This is serious stuff. Today is National Love is Kind Day, and it's all about victims of domestic violence and domestic abuse who were able to get out from underneath the control of their abusers, the abusers' power and dominance. They're out of it. They got out of it. And today is National Love is Kind Day. So those of you who have been victims of domestic abuse, bust out of the chains. Today is the day to do it. You can go on and live a prosperous life, a healthy life, a productive life. That's what it's all about. That's what it's all about. Kind of a personal thing for me. I've had a number of friends who fell victim to domestic abuse. And of course, it feels really hard to empower yourself when you're being kept down that way. But you've been waiting for the time. There are lots of people, lots of really good people who can help you bust out of it. So today, National Love is Kind Day. And who knows, you may be somebody in your life, a family member or a very close friend who is a victim of domestic abuse and you don't even know it. Think about it today. All right, much happier notes. Let's do today in history. Happy 80th birthday, Bugs Bunny. There it is, the very first animated cartoon featuring our good friend Bugs Bunny, entitled A Wild Hare, is released, and it introduced to the rest of the world the character of Bugs Bunny, who was introduced 80 years ago today. I got some fun facts about Bugs Bunny that a lot of people probably don't know. This is from his autobiography, which came out a few years ago. Bugs Bunny's real first name is Keith. Few people know that. Bugs Bunny does not actually live in a hole in the ground. In fact, he has a palatial estate in the Hollywood Hills. Very few people know this. Bugs Bunny divorced his first wife when he found out that she was having a romantic relationship with Foghorn Leghorn. And another fun fact about Bugs Bunny, he once shot out a TV screen when Elvis appeared on it. Happy 80th birthday to Bugs Bunny. The Korean War ended, in a way, 67 years ago today. That's more like the hostilities stopped for the most part. They agreed to stop shooting at each other. It was an armistice agreement, not a peace agreement. They're still technically at war even after 67 years later. The United States, China, North Korea signed the armistice agreement to formally end the war. Syngman Rhee, who was the president of South Korea, said, "I'm not going to sign the armistice agreement, but I will abide by its terms." So the South Koreans never actually signed it. The numbers of the Korean War are sobering. Of the United Nations forces, 170,927 people died. Of that, 162,000 roughly were South Koreans. roughly 37,000 were Americans, and about 4,500 people, soldiers from other countries, died. 566,000 United Nations troops were wounded in the Korean War. Of the North Korean and Chinese forces, they don't really know. About anywhere between 400,000 to 600,000 died, and over 145,000 went missing. The Korean War kind of ended today, 67 years ago, July 27, 1953. July 27, 1959. The National League would not expand. The American League would not expand. There were major metropolitan cities who said, we want Major League Baseball. And a bunch of really powerful, really smart people got together to announce the formation of the Continental League, the third major league in baseball in this country. William Shea announcing it at the big banquet in New York City. New York City, you're going to get a team now because they don't have one in the National League anymore. Of course, the Giants and the Dodgers moved out west. Houston, you get a team. Toronto gets a team. Denver gets a team. The Twin Cities, you're all going to get teams. We're going to have the Continental League. We'll start playing in 1961. 11 other cities said we want in as well. It was envisioned as the third major league simply because the other two major leagues, the American and National League, absolutely refused to expand. They got the message. The American League expanded in 1961. The National League in 1962. The Continental League kind of went away. But that's what it took. Sometimes you got to shove these guys to get them to do something. 61 years ago today. I wonder if there's any Continental League t-shirts out there I can buy on eBay. Speaking of baseball, the Major League record for most errors by a pitcher in one game is 3. On this date, in a game against the Brewers at Yankee Stadium, Yankee pitcher Tommy John tied that record by committing 3 errors on one play. Here's how it unfolded. Jeffrey Leonard is at bat. He hits a little dribbler down the left-hand side. Tommy John can't quite pick it up. Error number 1. He threw it away to Don Mattingly. Error number 2. He's going to try and score. Dave Winfield cut off by Tommy John, who throws the ball wide. It goes into the Brewer dugout for error number 3. Poor Tommy John. Yeah, he tied the Major League record for most errors by a pitcher in one inning, and he did it in one play. That's Jeffrey Leonard, who hit the ball about 15 feet, but he went all the way around to score. If you throw the ball into the dugout, you get 2 bases. Poor Tommy John. By the way, Tommy John pitched really well. The Yankees won. They won the game 16-3, but poor Tommy John, as Lou Piniella, as you can see in the dugout, said, I can't believe a guy hit the ball 15 feet and they scored 2 runs. Poor Tommy John. 3 errors on one play. As you might imagine, that's the Major League record. And finally, it was 18 years ago today, the worst air show disaster ever in the Ukraine. 77 dead, 500 others injured. Here's how it was reported on Sky TV.
The state-of-the-art Russian Su-27 jet fighter apparently lost power during high-speed manoeuvres at the air show in the western Ukraine near the Polish border. The aircraft exploded on impact into the crowded perimeter of the main runway. Local reporters say airshow officials as well as spectators are among the dead. The impact left wreckage scattered over a wide area, with shocked spectators trying to treat the injured and carry away the dead. Airport officials say the 2 pilots ejected from the jet moments before the crash. An official inquiry has been launched into the cause of the disaster. The Su-27 is known as the Flanker and is the Russian Air Force's most sophisticated fighter. It has inbuilt fly-by-wire capabilities designed to prevent the loss of control during high-speed diving manoeuvres.
77 dead, more than 500 injured. After the inquiry, they discovered that the pilots simply were doing something that they really didn't know what they were doing. They were showing off. Cost a lot of people their lives. Finally, let's do some birthdays. Norman Lear is 98 years old today. He produced All in the Family, Sanford and Son, One Day at a Time, The Jeffersons, Good Times, and Maude. He was the king of all things television in the 1970s and in the early 1980s. Norman Lear is 98 years old today. He has a Presidential Medal of Freedom. And a bunch of legendary athletes, including Peggy Fleming, who's 72 years old today. Back at the Winter Olympics in France. She won the gold medal in women's figure skating. It was the only gold medal the United States won at the 1968 Winter Olympics. Made her a household name. Peggy Fleming, best wishes to her. She's 72 years old today. A-Rod is 45 years old today. Alex Rodriguez, 14 times an All-Star, 3,115 career hits, 696 home runs, 25 career Grand Slam home runs, the all-time record. Alex Rodriguez. He hangs around with J-Lo, I'm told. He's 45 years old today. Max Scherzer may very well be the best pitcher in baseball today. He's 36 years old today. You look at the picture of Max, he has heterochromia. That's when you have two different colored eyes. His right eye is blue, his left eye is brown. Doesn't seem to hurt his vision. He is the youngest pitcher ever to defeat all 30 Major League Baseball teams, 3 times a Cy Young Award winner. And back in 2015, he threw not 1, but 2 no-hitters. Max Scherzer, who's on his way to the Baseball Hall of Fame, and he's only 36. He's got a lot of good years left in him. And happy 27th birthday to Jordan Spieth. Here's another guy who's just now starting to make his impact in his chosen profession, which is a professional golfer. Won the U.S. Open at Chambers Bay back in 2015, won the Masters earlier in that year. He won the Open Championship in Great Britain in 2017 and other tour wins. I think he's won 14 or 15 different tour wins. He's struggling lately with his game. Well, when Jordan Spieth is playing good golf, he is better than anybody around right now. And he's only 27 years old. Life is good for Jordan. We're going to take a break at 36 minutes after the hour, and Mike Magnotti's got an opinion, because he always does. It's coming up. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life channel.
Hi, my name is Manuel Navarro, Chief Operating Officer at Columbia Valley Community Health. Patient safety is our top priority, including providing care that just can't wait. With enhanced safety precautions, we want to ensure you that we're able to continue providing safe and efficient in-person care at our clinic. From in-car check-in, ongoing screening, immediate rooming, your family can get the safe care that they deserve here at Columbia Valley Community Health.
What is it to be a volunteer firefighter? Is it the gear, the training, the vehicles you'll learn to drive, the honor of protecting your community? Time, energy, sweat, sometimes blood and even tears. Every call may not be a victory. Sometimes you'll walk away wondering if you helped at all. But sometimes you will be a hero.
COVID-19 isn't going away, and our community needs a pathway to carefully and safely reopen the economy. To develop that pathway, we need accurate information on the number of COVID-19 infections in our region. We have partnered with local community leaders to launch randomized testing in our communities. This will provide critical data we need to reopen and protect our residents. The testing is voluntary, free, and completely confidential. Testing will be conducted at 4 accessible clinic locations located in Wenatchee, East Wenatchee, Leavenworth, and Lake Chelan. Although the actual procedure is slightly uncomfortable, it is quick, easy, and really not painful. Lab results are expected back in about 48 hours. If you choose to participate, this test is completely free of charge and completely confidential. For more information about how you can help your community safely reopen, check your mailbox for a flyer for instructions. We are here to support each other. Thank you for doing your part.
At Earthwise Pet, we take an all-natural approach to wellness and nutrition. Our professional certified groomers were trained by the best in the Pacific Northwest. Our staff here at Earthwise Pet are all certified in pet nutrition. We are here to help you select the perfect food, supplement, and anything else you may need to make sure your pet is living its best and most healthy life. Earthwise Pet, Nutrition Center and Wellness Spa. Online or in the store, we are here for you.
Badger Mountain Brewing is proud to announce the grand opening of our new kitchen. Come try out our new menu featuring fabulous steaks, prime rib, gourmet burgers, and seafood grilled up by experienced meat master, Chef Galen Goodman. To complement your mouth-watering meal, Badger Mountain Brewing features 14 in-house crafted beers, an alcohol-free root beer infused with 11 different herbs and spices, 3 different ciders, and a great wine selection. Don't miss out on the best meats and the best brews down at Badger Mountain Brewing, located at 1 Orondo Avenue across the tracks from the Pybus Market.
Mike Mad Dog Magnati, and everybody's entitled to my opinion. Now, as a mental health professional, I sometimes deal with clients and the stress and angst that's caused by their finances. Now, some folks are working themselves to the bone to not really build their business, but to make their business bigger and more financially successful. Now, I always ask these people, what are you really working for? Now, being a financial success is fine. Money is a great thing. But if it becomes only a goal in itself and not the tool it's supposed to be, all some people are working for is gain, not for a life of fulfillment. You know, sometimes Rosie and I just go out for an expensive dinner or take a weekend out of town without worrying about what we're spending. And we look at each other and say this in a meaningful way, together, this is what we're working for. And that's the truth. And this is Mike Mad Dog Magnati, and that's my opinion.
In the heart of the Wenatchee Valley lies a unique Ford and Lincoln dealership. This is Pat Armstrong Ford Lincoln, home of the lifetime warranty. Pat Armstrong Ford's mission is to exceed your expectations by taking pride in making your car buying experience as comfortable and timely as possible. This mission is consistent in every department, including parts, service, and sales. We are community strong and community safe in East Wenatchee.
Doghouse Motorsports just won Best Motorsports Store for the 6th year in a row. Is it the great facility? Is it the fantastic products? Or is it?
I'm Bobby.
And I'm Tabor.
I'm Mike.
And I'm Glenn.
Hi, I'm Todd.
I'm Jeff.
And this is the Doghouse Service Team.
Hi, I'm Dee.
And I'm Dwayne.
And I'm Kathy.
Come on in and experience the Doghouse.
Are you in the Doghouse?
Club Crow Bar and Grill in Cashmere is your place for famous blues, brews, and barbecue.
Currently, Club Crow Bar and Grill in Cashmere is open for dine-in and take-out. Owner Justin Hefner and his staff are just as excited as you to get back to their regularly scheduled full menu, music, and poker, so stay tuned. Meanwhile, Club Crow Bar and Grill in Cashmere is serving a limited menu for lunch and dinner, dine-in or take-out.
Club Crow Bar and Grill in Cashmere, the coolest place in town.
We're back at it at 43 minutes after the hour, still sitting at 68 degrees. Whew. You ready for some hot weather? Hottest weather of the year by far. Coming up with the high temperatures right around the triple-digit mark all the way through Thursday before we cool down a little bit. We have a heat advisory that goes into effect at 12 noon today and goes all the way through until 8 o'clock on Thursday night. Very, very warm temperatures. We'll do a complete forecast in just a couple of minutes, but we wanted to get you caught up on the top story of this morning and the top story over the weekend, and that, of course, is the Clockham fire. And it's almost all good news. Some evacuation notices still remain in place, but firefighters have been able to significantly slow the growth of the Clockham fire near Malaga. As of this morning, no confirmed structures have been lost. There have been no injuries. The fire is now 80% contained after burning approximately 3,337 acres. That's according to the Southeast Washington Interagency Incident Commander, Leonard Johnson. Now, at the peak of the fire on Saturday afternoon, more than 250 firefighting personnel were working on suppression efforts. That number has now been reduced to 67, and all the personnel working the fire from the air have been sent home. Kingsbury, Clockham, and Jump Off Ridge roads remain closed this morning. Those three areas also remain at a level 2 evacuations. Tarpiskin Road is at level 1 evacuation. The plan for today is to improve the already established containment lines around the fire, while crews work inside the lines to eliminate hot spots and shoring up lines in the west end of the fire. They want to protect structures and timber in that area. The fires got going about 2:14 Friday in strong winds and hot temperatures, and it didn't take very long for it to take off in the dry winds, in the hot, dry winds and the dry grass. At one point, there were over 200 homes threatened at the fire. We have an idea. A lot of people have been following this via our camera located at Jump Off Ridge. Our camera location is that red dot that you see there as we look at the map of the fire area. So down below where you see that little offshoot, that's the Clockham Road, and that's where it splits into the Kingsbury Road, right about where it says DP10 there on your map. Jump Off, as you can see, is in the upper left-hand corner in the Laurel Hill area. So that is where our Sky-Fi camera is located, that red dot, as it looks towards Quincy. The body of a Linwood woman was found along the shore of the Columbia River near Crescent Bar. This happened on Friday morning. 43-year-old Krista Gerard had been reported missing by family after she went floating on the river on Thursday and never returned. The Grant County Sheriff's Office said search efforts continued through the night and into the early morning hours. She had been staying with family in the Crescent Bar area. The Sheriff's Office said there are no signs of foul play, and Grant County Coroner Craig Morrison will be conducting an autopsy. The Chelan County Sheriff's Office is asking for you, the public, to help identify a burglary suspect. This is a surveillance photo that was taken at a recent burglary at 10 Lily in downtown Chelan. You can see the man inside the restaurant. The burglar, as you can see, has a distinct tattoo on his right shoulder. The burglary was reported at about 5:45 in the evening last Wednesday. Anybody with information on the identity of this man is asked to contact the Chelan County Sheriff's Department. A Douglas County man in his 50s became the 11th Wenatchee Valley resident to die from coronavirus. This is from public health officials making this announcement on Friday. The patient's passing marked the second local death from COVID-19 reported in the last week. The Chelan Douglas Health District disclosed the death of the 10th patient, a woman from Douglas County, back on July 17th. As of Friday, here are the numbers. Confluence Health listing 23 patients hospitalized for treatment of COVID-19, 7 of them under care in the Central Washington Hospital ICU. All but one are residents of either Chelan, Douglas, Grant, or Okanagan counties. All told, 1,433 people from Chelan and Douglas counties have tested positive for COVID-19 since the virus arrived here in Washington state. In March, the health district recorded 3 new diagnoses on Thursday and 336 over the course of the week. The state's largest teachers union says it cannot support a return to in-person classes when school begins this fall because, obviously, the ongoing COVID-19 crisis. The Washington Education Association put out a statement on Thursday. The statement says coronavirus puts teachers, students, and communities at risk throughout the state, and schools should plan exclusively for distance learning and virtual classes instead. Now, here in the Wenatchee Valley, school districts have struggled with how to reconcile input from the state, the Centers for Disease Control, and groups including parents and teachers. A community-wide online forum about the coming school year was originally scheduled for today with the superintendents of the Wenatchee, Eastmont, and Cascade school districts. That forum, by the way, has been postponed until the districts can finalize their plans. Today, the final shipments of mountain goats will start their journey from the Olympic National Park to the North Cascades National Park. So far, 275 goats have been relocated under the 2-year project, putting them back into their native setting after they were imported into the Olympics in the 1920s. State and federal wildlife agencies have teamed up to move the goats by truck and helicopter to 12 sites in the North Cascades, 3 of which are in the Okanagan-Wenatchee National Forest. 35 goats have died or been euthanized in the process, and once this round of relocations is complete, those goats still remaining in the Olympic National Park will be lethally removed. A Kennewick man was reportedly upset about losing his job at a Quincy business, and he was arrested Thursday morning for firing at least 10 shots from a semi-automatic pistol while walking along the golf course at Crescent Bar. The Grant County Sheriff's Office said 31-year-old Jordan Kintner was booked at the Grant County Jail for aiming and discharging a firearm. A shelter-in-place order was issued to residents of the Crescent Bar area while police responded at about 10:45 in the morning to numerous calls about gunshots on the peninsula end of the course. About 45 minutes later, the order was lifted when deputies and Quincy police officers took Kintner into custody without incident. Kyle Foreman is the public information officer for the sheriff's office. He said witnesses described him as not shooting at people or facilities In fact, what he was shooting at remains unclear. That's another quick look at what's making headlines. At 10 minutes after the hour, we're going to take a 3-minute break, come back, do a quick little tour around the Wenatchee Valley with our cameras, including a live shot from the Clock and Fire and your very hot weather forecast. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life Channel.
I'm Jenny Rojanasatian, and this is Guada TV. Every week we will be bringing you a first look at North Central Washington business, tech, and education news. You'll hear from local influencers and innovators who live right here in the Valley. Together, we'll discuss hot topics, current events, and resources that can support your business, our schools, and this community. Join me every week, and let's get inspired.
Hi, my car's making a funny noise.
Not a problem. We'll take care of you.
Global Car Care's technicians are ASE Master Techs and well-versed in the more refined methods of vehicular diagnostics.
Number 3 piston and rings have a slight loss of compression, down to 108 pounds. Your transmission is slipping. You're gonna need a service.
Looks like you all set.
These guys? They're good.
Oh, and your spare is flat.
Global Car Care, Wenatchee's top shop.
What's your Automocha emergency?
It's a Frappuccino mocha with whip.
The espresso shakes are my most favorite because I can get any flavor. Peanut butter chocolate for pita.
Definitely the espresso shakes.
My favorite is the mocha for pitas.
A peach Red Bull.
Kindness makes a world of difference at Boswell's. Donate $50 or more to charity and save more than ever before on stressless seating. Save at least $300 on stressless recliners and office chairs. Plus save hundreds more with $200 off every sofa seat you buy. There's never been a better time to help others and fill your home with the unmatched comfort of stressless seating. Be kind and save generously at Boswell's.
Family roles change with time. You may find yourself being an unpaid caregiver to a loved one. Caregiving can be rewarding, but also stressful. Taking care of yourself is vital. Aging and Adult Care of Central Washington has low or no cost services for unpaid caregivers, such as in-home support, care supplies, and counseling. Connect in your local area by calling Aging and Adult Care at 800-572-4459 and mention you're interested in caregiver support.
At Local Myth Pizza, we believe in real food, freshly prepared with only premium ingredients. Our cheeses are imported from Italy. Our sauces, dressings, and even our sausages are made in-house fresh daily. Featuring Northwest craft beers and 30 Chelan Valley wines and ciders. Family fun and amazing food. Eat local, drink local, and be local at Local Myth Pizza.
Come see why Sunset Magazine says you can't beat Local Myth Pizza.
We are back, 68 degrees outside of our studios. It's not going to stay 68 for long. Complete forecast details are coming up. Let's take one more quick tour around North Central Washington with what's happening on this Monday morning. Let's see what we got. We got the cross camera. Again, looking good. Not a cloud in the sky. None expected. Everybody is just going to be hot this afternoon. Stay out of the heat. Camera 2, if I remember correctly, we're going to take a visit on up to the Waterville. Oh, no, okay, that is the live shot. So that's our live shot from our jump-off ridge camera. If you look in the upper left-hand corner, you can kind of sort of make out Quincy. So that's the direction that we're looking at, and we showed you the map earlier. That's a live shot of the Clock and Fire, and it looks like they've made quite a bit of progress, and they have, as you know by now, as I explained during the news. It's now 80% contained, and they had at one point 250 firefighters working on the suppression efforts. That's down to now 67, and they've sent all the air personnel home, the helicopters and the bucket drops and that kind of stuff. So that's a live shot of the Clock and Fire. They've made really good progress there. Camera number 3 is beautiful Waterville camera looking down over Aniat and the Aniat River flowing into the mighty Columbia River. Wenatchee, of course, way down to your left. Most of what you see there is referred to as Lake Aniat, even though it's actually a river. That's always confused me, but then again, I'm not very bright. And camera number 4 is the Quincy camera. So this camera is a long way away, but it is clear enough we can shoot it all the way across to give you a different angle of the Clockham fire. And where it's black is where it burned, but again, it's all good news this morning. Although there's still some level 2 evacuations on Kingsbury, Clockham, and Jump Off roads. Tarpiskin Road, by the way, is at a level 1. We have a heat advisory in effect. It starts today and goes all the way through Thursday. Now, we've had heat advisories before, but they've lasted 24, 36 hours. Nothing that lasted for 4 days that I can remember. Wenatchee, by the way, is in red. So we're going to be just a little bit above the 100-degree mark today, tomorrow, maybe slightly cooler on Wednesday, right back up into triple digits on Thursday before finally that upper level ridge will begin to move out of the area. That's going to allow for cooler air to come in on Friday, and we'll have a very, very pleasant weekend. But once again, the big story is the heat, and the heat risks are for everybody. Again, any kind of outdoor activity, you want to do it right now before it gets really hot. If you have to be outside in the heat, you got to drink a ton of water, let it sweat right through you, be good and hydrated. Find air conditioning if you can find air conditioning. Of course, don't spend any. It's amazing how hot your car can get with this kind of weather. And if you don't have one of those reflector things that you can put on your windshield to keep your car cool, this would be a good day to go and do that. And make sure your air conditioning filters are all cleaned as well, because they're going to be on pretty much nonstop for quite some time. The heat is dangerous. It's not a laughing matter. And again, when we have a heat advisory, it's going to last for 4 days. And that's kind of crazy. Now, just for the record, our record high on this date was 108 back in 1988. We're not going to get to there. We're not going to get to 108, but for most folks, it's going to be plenty warm. We were 85 Saturday, 94 yesterday. We're looking at triple digits today from Patriot Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling, who gives your home a hug. Here we go. 104. It's possible. Now, out of the Columbia Basin and down to the Tri-Cities, you could be about 104. I'm thinking here in the Wenatchee Valley, maybe around 100, 101. It's going to take us a little while for us to climb that ladder. Now, just for the record, about midnight or so last night, I went outside and it was 73 degrees. It's cooled down since then, but now we're starting to heat back up again. So, yeah, that is hot. No other way around it. Overnight low tonight in the lower 70s, and so again, we're not going to get cool enough to really make much of a difference, and it's going to climb that ladder once again on Tuesday up to about 102 degrees or so. Again, the upper level ridge is just sitting there over the region. Not only is it sitting there, it's bringing a southwesterly flow of hot air, so it's a bad combination. An upper level ridge and warm air coming in to the Wenatchee Valley. Yeah, Wednesday, much cooler, only 100. So we're going to drop a few degrees from Tuesday, and we warm a little bit back up on Thursday. And then models, they tell us, are in relative agreement that after we get through Thursday, the warmest day of the week, and quite possibly the warmest day of the year, Friday will be slightly cooler, still quite a bit above normal. I mean, 103 to 97 is at least some kind of break, but a significant break coming our way for the weekend. As you can see, by the time Friday night rolls around, that high-pressure upper-level ridge will be exiting the area. It'll be over Montana and heading towards the Dakotas, and that's going to allow cooler marine air to come down from the northwest, and that's going to cool us down to much more moderate temperatures with a high of 88 on Saturday and 91 on Sunday. So if you have outdoor plans, as here we are in the dog days of summer, you might want to put it off until Saturday and Sunday. Again, the heat advisory begins at noon today, and it lasts until 8 o'clock on Thursday. Noon today to 8 o'clock Thursday night. So hot, 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 hot. No other way around it. Again, dogs, if you have a dog that has to be stuck outside, make sure it's got a shady place where it can get out of it. Make sure it's got plenty of fluids. Just use common sense. And if you have some folks who are exceptionally sensitive to the heat and maybe don't have the ability to cool themselves down, be it their apartment or their house, check in on those folks who are very susceptible to very hot weather. They could be in for a very rough go of it for most of this week. Hey, at least it's not 108. Everybody have a good Monday. We'll see you tomorrow. Take care. Bye-bye.